very antagonistic day on what should be versus what they want to be. So take a look. Very, very choppy. Lots of interesting interest rate headlines coming out of Jackson Hole. In my other video, I talked about that. So take a look. Adaptive moving average, I could maybe call this a fast money trader because it takes lots of trades, and so you can take it can take the winning trades like these right here, or it can get chopped up and it can make fast or lose fast. And you see that today down 2,300, and that's just part of how this trades overall. It's up. Most recently, let's take a look at this equity curve. And so it's up most recently, just going back to January. You see this big hit on this choppiness. Very choppy week. FOMC week yesterday, and then just in general, extremely choppy, extremely antagonistic. The market was set to roll over at this point, and it's gone up instead. And so that it tends to create it's very hard to trade a market that's doing something that it's just very successful at doing something it shouldn't do, is the best I can describe it. And so I think there should be some more repricing in the stock market, but we have to trade what is. And so our strategies have gone through a drawdown because of the difficulty and the choppiness. If you look at this Friday move, gap up on Sunday night, gap down, taking out the highs on Tuesday, and then roll over the lows, and then gap up, and then gap up yesterday, boom, take out these lows, take out Wednesday's lows, and then rally back. And so, wow, really, really, really choppy week. And so it's no wonder we're in a drawdown. We anticipate those. Those are normal. Those happen. And so it's a great opportunity to start trading the stock index portfolio. Let's look at the performance summary. 693, 953. Right at a 10K drawdown, we flipped adaptive moving average, flipped to long. The portfolio was flat before it flipped to long because adaptive moving average is short and night trader was long. And so now adaptive moving average flips to the long side. So they're both long, and we'll see what happens. We're right around a 10K drawdown at this point. You see there's 20K level, and it's let's look at the dailies. You can see that better on the daily period analysis. Down 4,900 on Tuesday and down 4,900 today so far. I just ran this report a little bit ago. And so you see we've gone through this past weekend the data and the ups and downs. And so these are normal winning and losing streaks. You can divide these numbers by 10 if you're trading the micros. And so if you're down 10,000 on the E-minis, you're down 1,000 on the micros. And so if 10,000 just seems like a lot, consider trading the micros instead. This is normal stock index futures trading though. So this is the portfolio. Again, divide all these numbers by 10 if you trade the micros. One micro is 1/10 of all this. This is your one E-mini S&P per strategy, and there's 30 strategies. So it's either one E-mini S&P or one E-mini NASDAQ. And here is the equity curve once again. Here's the daily period analysis once again. And on the monthly period analysis, after all this choppiness and drawdown this week, still up 18K. So it was up about, I think, 27, 28K at one point. Now it's taking a 10K hit off of that peak. And so that's just kind of how trading works though. And that gives you the opportunity when you see red flash down, you get these opportunities. Lots of little spikes in here. You don't know if it's going to go a little deeper or run up from here, but it just went through a pretty steep drawdown and it's made equity peaks. And now it's flashed down on this choppiness. Now we'll see what happens going forward, but really tricky market to trade this week with all this moving around is pretty extreme. A big fight where, in my opinion, the market seems to be trying to do something that it's not supposed to do. When the market is successful at doing something when it's not supposed to do, it's hard to trade it. But that's where the chips fall, and that's what we do. And we just we trade what is, and there are cycles in the market that happen like this, and it's completely normal. So great opportunity to start after a drawdown. Let's look at the other trades. Night trader. So you can see we got this slamming in the market and then rally back, and it's just kind of this 1/X move that I've talked about. I'm going to show you that. I've talked about this before. It's been a while. This 1/X move where the market does this and this. If you plot 1/X, it kind of looks like that. Just kind of returns to where it came from, and just a mean reversion type market. And so there's the 1 over X move that I talk about. And what else? 60-minute breakout. It just won't go. This market keeps coming to these levels at 29.50, major resistance at 29.50, and it rolls over. And so wouldn't be surprised to see the net gains. If the bulls get their way, they'll probably try to get past this 29.50 in the overnight session in the futures. Probably be harder to do it during the day, but we'll see. Stock index swing got stopped out as well. So these are the strategies that we're trading, and there's 5 trades today. Tick Pulse got stopped out on a short trade. Got short there, and it bounced. Just not much follow through on the downside. Just strong persistence to go up, but not up too much. And they're maintaining that bid since the phone call last week from the administration in this area right here. There was a phone call from the administration to the top banks, and so there's been a strong bid ever since. And this is what we're seeing. So that's the update. That's the opportunity to jump in on the stock index portfolio.